Hey guys, welcome back to Bibla Studios. I'm Alicia and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I started my YouTube channel. And thank you guys again for 1,000 subscribers. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. I always wanted to be a YouTuber since I was younger because I grew up on YouTube. That was basically what I watched as a kid, was a whole bunch of YouTubers. So when I was younger, I don't even know how old I was at this time, but I just remember telling my mom, record me, I want to make a video, and she would just go along with it, you know. I started editing at the age of 13. So when I first started editing, I had no idea what tools to use, like what editing tool to use. So I was going through a whole bunch, just deleting, downloading, and then my brother came into my room and then he saw what was going on. He's like, wait, what are you looking for? And I told him I'm looking for an editing app. And then he's like, try CapCut. So then I tried CapCut. I loved CapCut from the beginning. It was everything I needed. And yeah, thanks to my brother for that. On CapCut at that time, they had videos on there. I think it was 20 videos. And then those 20 videos, they show you how to use all of the tools on CapCut. And I saw they took that off. I don't know when they took it off. I just thank God that it was there for me when I was first starting to use CapCut. And you know what? They helped me so much. I remember I was just sitting on my phone. I just binged their entire 20 videos and it didn't even feel like it took long. Like, I think those were like 10 minutes each or something. But I was just learning so much and it was something that I was just so passionate about at that age that I had the patience to go and watch all of that. And then after I watched all of that, I was editing. And then what I used to do was when I would go play with my nephew, I would record us. And then if we were playing soccer, I would record that and then I would make it cinematic and stuff. But at that time, guys, I over-edited. I don't know how that was possible, but I over-edited, you know. I would watch the video over and over and be like, oh, it needs this much emojis, these many emojis. The whole video was basically emojis. You couldn't even see past the emojis at that time. And then, you know, it didn't look good. But I decided to continue because it was just something that I love so much. And then I remember I made this video of my mom and my nephew. And I showed it to my sister and my brother-in-law and they just absolutely loved it. And that was the first video I edited where I was actually really proud of it. And I was like, you know what, if I continue going, like, it's gonna get 10 times better than what it is now, you know? After editing for 2 years, so now I'm 15, I decided I wanted to make a business out of editing because I decided I really loved editing. That was the career field I really wanted to go into at that time. And you know, I just decided, you know, let me try and make a business out of it. So at first my business started off as AES, Alicia's Editing Studio. And then I did get like a few clients from that. Then I remember this one time, me and my mom, we were driving, we went to go fill up petrol. Then I saw this car wash, right? And then I took down the name of the car wash. We went home. I checked out the car wash online, looked on the internet. I couldn't find any advertisement for it online. So then I said to my mom, you know what? The next time when we go to that petrol station, I want to go ask that guy there if I can make a video for them online. So then I went to that guy. And then he was really sweet about it, you know. He was also like very supportive of me because I was really young at that time, just 15. I was already starting a business. So then after that, I decided, you know, going out, cold calling it's good. I'm getting business, but business is very slow. So I decided, you know what, let me use my editing tools and show people how I edit, you know, and see if people like the way I edit. So then at first what I did was I made a video and then I got basically my whole contact list to advertise my business. Shout out to all of you guys, thank you guys so much. And then, you know, after that I realized if I had a YouTube channel, I could advertise so much better. So don't ask me how I managed to convince my parents at 15 to let me have a YouTube channel. If it's God's will, things will just work out. So I think that's how it did happen. So then I started my YouTube channel, which started off as AES. The OGs of this channel will know that. So when I started AES, I was just posting random content, you know, random long videos, random shorts. I was telling my cousin that I started a YouTube channel and then he was asking me what my niche was. And then I said, what is a niche? I had no idea what that was. So then he very kindly explained to me what it was. And then I decided my niche I want to be is vlogging, because that's the YouTubers I watched growing up. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do the vlogging. I started vlogging everything. A lot of the stuff did not get posted because I am a perfectionist and I do want my content to look absolutely perfect. Vlogging doesn't have its own category, so basically I was doing random videos. So yeah, I was a perfectionist and I wanted everything to look perfect, so a lot of the stuff didn't end up getting posted. So you know what, at this point everything started going off the rails. I kind of lost the whole plot of my YouTube channel, which was to start up my business, AES, but you hardly hearing of AES now. It's more of my vlogs, more of what's going on in my life, very self-focused. And you know what, at this time is when I started having a connection with God as well. So this is what brought Be Blessed Studios. So before we get to Be Blessed Studios, we have to see how did I change spiritually first before the YouTube channel changed. I grew up always as a Christian and I kind of just agreed with everything I heard, you know, it's like you must have a connection with God, you must spend time with God, you know. I think at that time I didn't fully understand what that meant. So now finally I was starting to understand. I was like, you know, I'm always hearing at church, you know, you must have a connection with God, you must spend time with God, you must understand God fully. So I was like, you know what, let me give God a try, you know. And the only regret I have now is that I didn't have that connection with God sooner. Because as soon as I got that connection with God, I felt like my life was starting to come together more. And then what happened was, the year after, I joined my baptismal class at my church. So then from that, I was also getting more closer to God, growing more spiritually. But my content was still relatively worldly. I remember the month before I was supposed to get baptized, my mom came to me and then she was like, you know, Felicia, your videos, they're getting really worldly, and like, you know, we Christians, we're not supposed to be like the world, we're supposed to be different, you know, and now your content is the same as the world's content. And you know, at that time I was kind of upset with my mom because it's like I finally have found my footing in the whole YouTube, and now it's like if I was to start Christian content, I'm restarting. So I didn't really listen to it that time. Sorry, mom. I got baptized the month later, and then the day after I got baptized, you know, I was just sitting in my room. I was like, you know what, she was actually right. How can I now say I'm standing up for God, but also on the other side I'm posting worldly content? If I continued like that, I knew I was going to be a hypocrite. So I had to make the hard decision, which in my mind was two things: delete the YouTube channel, never do that again, or just change it to a Christian channel. So I decided to do a Christian channel. So now it kind of felt like my world was crumbling apart because I had to start from scratch. I had to find a whole new category, which was Christian content, a whole new niche. I had to start over from the beginning. So I didn't post for a while after that. I remember, like, as I got closer to God, it got easier to find Christian content. Before I took a break from recording, right? You guys didn't see those parts. Those like the behind the scenes now. I was trying to record like what I'm doing currently, Heaven's Warriors. I was trying to record a Job series. So when I was trying to do the Job series, I thought this was going to be easy because recording the vlogs, recording the BuzzFeed quizzes, those were all easy. But now when it came to recording the Job series, it was like I was lost. I had no idea what I was doing. Everything happens for a reason, because I actually see how God wanted to lead me. I wanted to jump to this part to where I am now, to Heaven's Warriors, but I had to start from the beginning. And you know, I feel like we've grown together, this YouTube channel and the people watching. I feel like we've all grown together from this YouTube channel, because I started off with my channel was first worldly, right? and then I changed the name. When I changed spiritually, the YouTube channel changed. Now we started from scratch. Now it was finding Christian content. So luckily on CapCut, I use a lot of templates from them, and from there I started getting Christian content and just putting that out because I didn't know what to do. So I thought, okay, let's not let the channel die now. So we're gonna put this out to just help the channel grow. So now, as this channel is growing, I'm actually getting ideas. I'm talking to my mom about these ideas. She's saying, try that out. So now, the first long video for Be Blessed Studios, which was Christian, was understanding God's love, which I feel like for any Christian, that is the basis of all things for us, is understanding God's love. Now, once I was able to do that, which is very easy, to understand God's love, now I was able to build from that. And then we were able to go onto our series, overcoming anxiety, depression, and broken hope. Now I'm finally where I wanted to be from the beginning, which is Heaven's Warriors, and starting this series. But now I'm seeing the full picture, like from the time when I was a kid. The fact that I always had this passion for recording, for editing, God just made it all just come together. And it's just so beautiful to see how God can really work in your life. And yeah, I'm just so grateful to God that He's given me this opportunity. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!